has become the world's youngest republic, stripping itself of the British Queen as head of state. To discuss this historic move, we now welcome David Denny, General Secretary of the Caribbean Movement for Peace and Integration. David, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here with you today.
I'm sure you have been enjoying the celebrations over the past few days. What can you tell us about how Barbados marked the 55th anniversary of its independence from Britain and its transition to a republic?
Well, the people of Barbados are very happy to celebrate the removal of the Queen of Head of State of Barbados and for a Barbadian to become our head of state. Yesterday, we had a lot of celebrations all over Barbados, so the people are very happy. It was celebrated in color, in dance, in music, in arts. So the people are happy to participate in a major celebration for Barbados.
David, some people might say that the Queen as head of state had no real power. It was just a symbolic role. And so what's the point of removing her? What would you say to that?
That's not true. The Queen of head of state has a lot of power, not only ceremonial. She's not only there for ceremonial reasons. Every time a resolution is passed in Parliament, it goes to the upper house within our parliamentary system, and then it only becomes law when the Queen representative, which is the Governor General in Barbados, signs off on that legislation. So the Queen has a lot of power, okay, as head of state of Barbados. And what has happened in Barbados is that we removed the Queen of head of state and we put a Barbadian as our president, and we have created the conditions for Barbados to have its own executive powers on the presidential system for our republic.
David, you mentioned a bit there, but what does this move concretely mean for Barbados? You mentioned that there's now a president. How does the system change?
Well, as I mentioned to you, the system changed because under the past system that we had when the Queen was head of state, our public service was loyal to Her Majesty the Queen. The Royal Barbados Police Force was loyal to Her Majesty the Queen. We are no longer loyal to Her Majesty the Queen. We are loyal to the people of Barbados. And this is just the beginning of the building of our republic. We now have to create the conditions for constitutional changes. We have to now implement the Constituency Assembly to empower the people. And we have to create new forms of economic and developmental programs for our people that will benefit the working class people in Barbados and that will help to strengthen our republic. So this is just the beginning stages for our republic. And we are conscious about that, and we are working towards building the consciousness in Barbados and creating the conditions for us to be able to strengthen our republic. In fact, the Prime Minister of Barbados made a statement where she said that the Barbadian people will be given the opportunity to help shape and influence the Constitution of Barbados. The Barbadian people will be given the opportunity to help shape and build our republic. So it's just the beginning stages, but we will move it to a higher level in the future.
David, there are calls for reparations from Britain for slavery, including from the royal family, which profited hugely from the slave trade. What can you tell us about this campaign?
Yes, our movement, we object to Prince Charles coming to Barbados to participate in the ceremony because the royal family benefited from slavery in Barbados. And we are saying that the royal family should pay reparation. We are also saying that Richard Drax should pay reparation. Richard Drax is the richest parliamentarian in Britain who represent the constituency of Dorset South. We are saying he should also pay reparation because up to this day, he is an owner of a plantation in Barbados that continue to exploit working class people in Barbados. We are also saying that the government of Britain should pay reparation, and all of those businesses and companies that would have benefited from slavery, we are saying that they too should pay reparation to our people in Barbados. We are also saying that the royal family should also apologize, okay, for supporting slavery against our people. And reparation can be paid in many forms. Reparation can be paid in the transfer of technology, helping us to upgrade our transport system, helping us with our medical system, our educational system, and also with this, helping us to develop social programs in Barbados that will benefit our poor working class people in Barbados.
The call for reparations is echoed across the Caribbean. How are you building links with other movements across the Caribbean in order to further strengthen this campaign?
Well, our campaign in terms of building links is done at the governmental level and also civil society. Let me explain that. At the governmental level, each Caribbean country has a task force. And that task force links into CARICOM task force. CARICOM task force is headed by Professor Hilary Beckles, and our task force in Barbados, of which I am also a member of that task force, is headed by the Honorable Trevor Prescott, who is a member of Parliament in Barbados. So that's the governmental level in terms of creating the structure for us to struggle for reparation. At the civil society level and the Pan-Africanist groupings levels, several Pan-Africanist organizations have come together and formulated a regional body that allow us to work together to demand reparation. And then we link in to the Global African Congress, which is a global institution that also supports the whole question of reparation for African people and African descendants.
David Denny, the General Secretary of the Caribbean Movement for Peace and Integration, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your perspective on this historic move for Barbados. Thank you.
Thank you also.